Hey folks, this is a little special video blog. We had an opportunity to meet with our church consultant, Lamar Slay, and while he was here, we thought we'd get a few minutes on video so that you could hear some of his perspective on some of the things that we're doing and where we're headed today. So with me is Lamar Slay with Partners in Church Consulting. Lamar, welcome.
Thanks, Doug.
I want to ask a couple of things to help the congregation get to know you. Tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, about your family.
Well, I live in Fort Worth, Texas, and we bought a place. We thought we were out in the country, and now Fort Worth's moved out to us. And I have 5 kids and 5 grandkids. I have 2 boys who are out of school and work in the workplace. I have a daughter who's a senior, actually her last semester of grad school at the University of Houston. I have a son who's 22 and another daughter who's 20. And we live on 2 acres there in North Richland Hills. We have see who we are. We have chickens, we have a goat, we have a pig, dogs and cats. I gave my wife a goat for Mother's Day last year.
All right.
She wouldn't tell me what she wanted, and every time we'd go by this little ranch, she kept saying, I want one of those goats, and so when she wouldn't tell me what she wanted for Mother's Day, she got a goat. I don't have any trouble getting a list out of her now.
So guys, ideas for Mother's Day.
That's right. It's coming right up, and I can sell you a goat.
So tell us about your experience, Lamar. I know that you've been on staff for a couple of the largest churches in America. Tell us about that.
My father was a Baptist pastor, and I ended up being a youth pastor for 25 years. Ended up out on the West Coast with Rick Warren at Saddleback as his youth pastor, and served there for a while. Ended up back in Fort Worth, and Rick called Ed Young at Fellowship Church, and ended up going on staff and served there for about 10 years as a teaching assistant. And also the last 5 years I was over his parkers and greeters and ushers, kind of the guest services part of it. All that part-time while I was beginning my consulting work, and now just in full-time working with churches doing a variety of things.
And of course we're one of those churches that you have worked with. Tell us what's going on across the country. I mean, us here in Lynn Haven, even though the church is doing very well and our attendance is up and we're reaching new people, financially it's been a struggle here the last several months. Tell us about that.
Well, first let me say that those of you who go to church here are really fortunate to have the church that you have. And not only the staff, but just the vision and the leadership and the purpose that you all have. The economy very definitely affects churches. Now, the good thing is that those who have learned the joy of giving know that when the times really get rough is when they need to increase their giving, because God honors that and God blesses that. Last fall in our campaigns we saw maybe a decrease in the amount of commitments that were given. But typically when we go through a time like this, we see that decrease in upfront commitments, but usually we see an over amount given versus the commitments. People are a little hesitant to make commitments that they think maybe the economy is going to affect their ability to come through with, but yet in their mind they have a figure that they are planning to give, and almost without fail we see that happen over the course of the giving period.
So really what you're describing is that these are people that are committed to the vision where their financial situation may be a little unsure, but
absolutely. And one of the reasons why I think that you all are so effective here is that I continually hear you talk about vision and why God put you here and some of the incredible things that God has done in the past even to get you here. And the thing I would just remind you and your staff and your people is that this campaign was not about your building, it was about your vision. It was about the things that God has called you here to do. And you know, just as a reminder, the economy may have changed, but the vision God's given you hasn't changed. And that God's aware of that, He knows all of that. And if people are committed to a building, then the economy really affects it. But if they're committed to the vision, the effect is not that great. Because while you're committed to the vision, oh yeah, by the way, we need this building in order to accomplish the vision. But never forget that it's about the vision and it's about reaching the people that God's placed you all here to reach.
Right. Regardless of what the economy is doing, we still have within 5 miles of us tens of thousands of of unchurched people that we're
Yeah.
hoping to reach,
Yeah.
and that's what this is about.
And you know, Doug, one of the things about a recession or a downtime is your contractors get hungry, your subs get hungry. You can get a lot better deal many times on different aspects of the building and supplies and what have you. And so oftentimes that turns out to be a blessing when it's all said and done because of the money you can save by moving forward.
Well, let's talk about that. What? In fact, that's why you're here. Is we ask you to come and visit with us about options, given some of the financial difficulties that we've been facing, and as we get closer to developing this plan for this next phase of building, we're looking at the cost associated with that and the difficulty of this economy, and we're asking some serious questions about do we do this now? Do we wait a while, wait a year or two, and let the church grow some more, let the economy get better? Do we go ahead with what we've planned but just borrow more money? Do we cut back on the size of building that we're looking to build? These are tough questions that we're asking ourselves, and we'd be glad to hear you.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I would tell you to not do, and that's wait. People have given to the vision. God led you all to do this, and it will happen all in His timing. But already your people have given over $250,000 to the project. So there are certain things that right now you can go ahead and begin to spend that money and get accomplished, say over the next 6 months, that you finish up your drawings, you get your operational drawings, you get all of that done, you get your costing done. And in that process, you ask your architect and your builder to give you phases of where work that you can do and maybe break points through the process. And then that's going to take at least another 4 to 6 months. And then at that point, you'll have to look at it and decide, okay, it's another decision time. Do we go ahead and break ground and get started? And my encouragement to you probably is going to be to go ahead and do that, because even then you've got 9 months to a year of construction. So you're out there nearly 18 months before you're going to start making payments on that building. So there's a lot that you can do right now, and most people are saying that by that time we'll be out of this recession and we'll be on the upswing, and you will have already given much of the money that you committed, and you'll have new people that will be here. And so I think you need to move forward with integrity and with, you've got some great people on your leadership teams that have great minds to look at all this and see how it's going to work. But never forget about the vision, and never forget about this is a faith walk. And just like you ask your families to step out in faith and make a commitment, the church is now in a situation where it's got to do the same thing as far as what God's led them to do.
Well, knowing that we didn't get quite as much money as we hoped we would in the campaign, knowing that the economy has caused some difficulty in the broader financial picture, how do you came in today and we've gotten you updated on where we are and amounts that have been given and how we're doing. Tell us how you feel like we're doing it. Where are we now, and where should we go from here?
Yeah, I think you're doing great. I mean, the things that you all are doing, within your church, within your denomination. I mean, you're a lighthouse to so many other churches around. I think you've put together a great leadership team. You've got some great wisdom there. I think you keep plugging forward and you move. I hear people say that we don't want to get ahead of God, and I think, how fast would you have to run to get ahead of God? I mean, He has a desire to see the unchurched, the lost people reached far greater than we ever would. So I think you just have to use wisdom. I think you're doing well, but keep that momentum going, and keep your eyes on Him, and keep your focus on reaching the people here that He's put you here to reach, and concentrate on that. Trust, but keep moving.
Well, there you are, folks. Lamar Slay, a chance for you to meet him, hear his wisdom. You understand why we want him on our team. Thank you, Lamar.
Thanks, Doug.
It's good to have you with us.
Thank you.